Hey guys, Austin here coming at you with the fifth and conclusive match between Millennium Stephano and SKMC, a PvZ from the best of 5 semifinals of the Red Bull Battlegrounds LAN event held a few weekends ago on GSL Daybreak. We have Millennium Stephano, Red Zerg at the top right, and SK's MC as the blue Protoss at the bottom left. So this has been a very back and forth series. But just before I get into the game, I'd like to throw a quick special shout out to Mr. Nice Guy 73. He gave me some tips on one of my videos, having been a radio TV undergrad of his own. Expert tips and stuff like that is extremely valuable to me. Any comment is warmly welcomed, but especially Mr. Nice Guy giving me these specific little criticisms, constructive of course, to help me become a better caster and even tell me what I'm doing right. So thank you very much. And now as we move on into our match, Stephano took game 1, MC game 2, Stephano game 3, MC game 4. So it's been Stephano MC back forth, exactly like I said earlier. And we've seen some fairly interesting builds from MC, several of them revolving around that Forge Fast Expand play, if not more than several. Even a Stargate in the previous match, from what I remember. I've actually casted a lot of games in the past few days, so do forgive me if I'm not recounting exactly what happened, because when you've casted about 4 games in a matter of days, you don't remember each event of each game. So we do now have that Forge going down from MC, so he's grabbing the Fast Expand and actually throwing down the Proxy Pylon just to delay the expansion from Stephano. Nothing really cheesy. I don't think he's going for a Cannon Rush, but then again, if you thought of it, if you didn't know this was a professional game, you'd see the Forge, right? And then you'd see a Pylon going down, so all you'd think is Cannon Rush if it wasn't MC versus Stephano. But then again, the Forge is placed here at the Expand, so now MC is going to move his Overlord Scout in and see this Forge, so he'll probably grab a double expand of his own. He actually is moving to the 3rd location, trying to save this drone. If he loses it, that could actually delay his expansion timing and force him to pull another drone off the line to make it. So for now, he's not really going to be able to grab anything, and there's this second probe coming in. Very, very smart play from MC, so it's a minor little thing, but every second that Stephano doesn't get an expand, MC is a base ahead of him, because he already has his Nexus making. So he's going to have a good 27, or even more, because Stephano hasn't made his expansion yet, that many seconds up on his opponent in terms of mining time. And if you're a Protoss player against a Zerg, every second of bonus mining time counts. MC's actually supply blocked briefly because he did lose that Proxy Pylon. So now Stephano is going to grab the expand at his natural, but I think he's going to have to go for a double expand and grab a 3rd, because he has lost this much mining time, and that is going to put him that much behind, because early game PvZ for the Zerg is all about droning up and keeping a base on the opposing player, just like it is in TvZ. So the fact that MC was to you, it may seem a minor play, but it has so much more depth to it than what your initial perception may be. So as I did predict, Stephano is going for that 3rd. He's going to be able to get that base up on his opponent. It will take a little while to achieve. So now MC's base is actually finished, so he's pumping up probes, chrono boosting them out, and he has cut some workers. I'm pretty sure he's just going to stay on this 2 base and build up a significant force grabbing Warp Gate. As soon as this side core finishes, he's going to get the early weapons level 1. So a fairly smart move there from MC to get the early upgrades. Again, in the mathematical form of StarCraft, when 2 armies are engaging, the amount of damage, even if it's increased by 1 point on a unit, could change so much in that battle. That's why the value of upgrades is immense. Zerg players, you'll often see Stephano in the mid-game already have his 3-3 down just because he's popped the double Evo chamber, but we're not going to see that quite yet because he's still focusing on droning up and actually getting a significant 3 base production in terms 3 bases mining. And so we will have Warp Gate coming from MC, and not too much tech actually. Stephano's sitting on that Roach Warren, so population is fairly close. Harvesters wise, it is 34 to 29, so the Protoss actually able to keep a 5 harvester lead over his Zerg opponent in early game. That's pretty big, if you ask me. I mean, now the gap has been actually equalized, and Stephano taking a 1 harvester advantage, but that's usually, as a Zerg by this point, he should definitely be ahead of his opponent. So he's starting to pull away now. So there haven't been too many engages yet, and Stephano can still clearly bounce back from that initial loss to the expansion. It was a minor delay. If Stephano was able to get enough roaches out, because he is going for the Roach Warren, and then pump out his upgrades off this Evo chamber, he will be looking pretty good. Though MC is going for a Robo facility, which is extremely strong against their hatchery tech, because if you have Immortals, bye-bye roaches, and if you're able to tech up to Colossi, which is viable off of 2 bases, then you can definitely roast some Zerglings, and even if the Zerg player techs the Hydras. So that forces a lair tech and Corruptors from the Zerg player. So Stephano is going to be getting his lair. He's about close to halfway by this point. So intelligent play from him. The population is about 4 ahead for him, extremely close, so nothing too noticeable. Only a 6 harvester lead though, and he is on 3 bases, so he's going to have to keep injecting larvae and just mass producing drones off that. So he's going to go for that metabolic boost and missile attacks level 1, fairly common if you ask me. MC getting this scouting stalker. What did he see? He did see the 3rd base, so he saw it quite a while ago, so he's going to know that his opponent did double expand in the face of losing the time on his initial natural. Now MC's going to grab his armor level 1, so he's already an upgrade ahead of Stephano, a clear upgrade ahead, because missile attacks level 1 is going to take a while, and it doesn't even apply to the Zerglings. So for me, I feel that MC's been able to really use that minor delay to his advantage. He's popping out a bunch of sentries here to force field off against any sort of an early roach pressure, which could be coming for Stephano, because he does have to still inflict some damage on his opponent to be able to justify that loss. So I think if MC's able to take this one with a timing push, it will all come down to the fact that he was able to delay the expand. If we go into the late game, that won't really be noticeable anymore, because Stephano will be grabbing a 4th, and MC is his 3rd, which he is now doing with photon cannons to secure it. But we do see here some roaches and lings, and only 0-0 right now. No upgrades. We do have Zergling speed and roach speed on the way. Zergling speed is finished. But if we look at MC, he has 1 weapons with 1 armor about to finish, and that is pretty nice to have if you're going into Immortals, or just any gateway unit can greatly benefit from 1 weapons, 1 armor. And he's getting his Twilight Council as well, so I don't think he's going to invest in the 1 shields, because it does cost more. I don't know why we don't really see that. Protoss players tend to just grab the Twilight Council and then go into 2-2. If somebody can elaborate, that would be appreciated, because I'm not actually quite sure why we wouldn't grab shields, because it's the same cost as ground weapons level 2. I guess because of that, because it is the same cost as ground weapons level 2. So anyways, Stephano is trying to push in here with some Zerglings, and the sentries, some pretty solid force fields, are going to allow him to get them in a solid choke and pick off the Zerglings. Now, even force fielding in some of the roaches, this Immortal is going to, actually 2 Immortals on the field, able to just punish them, like I said. And if this 3rd is not going to be denied, and even 10 kills on this photon cannon, so that's a lot of lings and maybe a couple roaches that went down because of just that 1 cannon, which is only in the yellow health. So we do actually have blink from Stephano. We did see that in the last game there on Cloud Kingdom, and these roaches desperately trying to pick off the 3rd to deny MC a base. Will they be able to do it? It's going to be very close. The Nexus is in the orange. It's going to be extremely close. I don't think he's going to be able to get it though. No, 2 roaches are picked off, so Stephano's definitely pushing with this pressure. He's trying to go all in even. He's only off of 3 bases, and he's allowed MC to equal it. So now, pretty much going to be a near all-in situation here. Stephano is grabbing his 2nd Evo chamber, getting melee attacks level 1, so finally trying to get on even ground with MC in terms of upgrades. But MC does have blink on the way. He's got 3 bases mining, just like Stephano. He's force fielding very well, and he's poised to take this one. I have to say, he's able to get some good force fields and just pick off roaches, which do have tunneling claws, but there are cannons, and I believe an observer on the field. So I think the tunneling clause is a smart choice for a Zerg if they're trying to penetrate any sort of a defense, but if there's a photon cannon, usually it's going to be held off because the Protoss will know that there's an imminent threat at their base. Even now, the Robo Bay from MC, his 3 bases can justify it. He can probably even pop up a second robotics facility. I don't know if he has one in production. No, he does not. Just 4 more gates. But if he could produce off 2 robos, and that's very strong against this sort of a composition, getting Immortal Colossi off 2 robos. So now he's just, no matter what Stephano does, he's not going to be able to get in here. Stephano does, thanks to his second Evo Chamber, have Carapace level 1, but MC already going into 2 weapons. So he's looking solid. He just has to hang on, allow his 3 bases to get fully defended, and I believe this is now saturated. So MC only now grabbing the 4th. So that took him a while. I think he was trying to deny the 3rd for too long. It did not happen. He got it down to 166 health, but did not quite pull it off. And now he's allowed the Protoss player to attack. He's getting a Spire. Well, MC goes into Colossi, so that's some pretty nice prediction play. I do not believe he scouted it. No, he has not with his Overlords scouted the Robo Bay, but I guess he could likely predict that as a result of just the general composition. He knows MC has a Robo. So he's going to run down here all of his forces to the 4th, and there was actually a Stalker in there. Did it do too much damage? No, I believe it was just a scouting Stalker probably trying to blink in, and it was just 1 Stalker. Even then, look at that. 80 to 9 units killed. That is really when Protoss force fields can make a difference. 80 to 9. Let's look at our resources lost. 3,000 resource difference between these 2 players. So that is beyond significant. Especially, even though Stephano's a Zerg, he does have 3,000 minerals back. So that's the one thing he has going for him because he has this 4th base mining. But a Zerg player has very expendable units. So if the Protoss is getting maxed, and so too is the Zerg, the Protoss is favored. And then the Zerg would be able to remax quick, but the Protoss with proper force fields would definitely have an advantage. Because MC has enough gates to replenish his 10 gates, enough to replenish any losses that he may fall victim to if he gets into an engage and is able to take out Stephano's force, but loses some troops. He'll be able to reinforce very fast nonetheless. So Stephano will probably be able to get maxed out faster because of his resources, but I think it's truthfully it is going to come down to micro. There's 2-2 on the way for Stephano's Carapace and his melee units, but now here's going to be that big engage. Blink research so that these Immortals actually going to get surrounded. Nope, not surrounded. The Immortals almost got surrounded by the Lings, but this very nice Colossus play, force fielding in all the Lings. So now Stephano's forced to fight with just roaches and this handful of Lings, not nearly as much as he formerly had, but he did actually just begin producing 20 more Lings and 11 Corruptors. So MC is going to have a small window to push out. Stephano was overmaxed because of that spine crawler trick, but here's now going to be the 2 Colossi. 11 Corruptors are going to hatch, but if Blink can be used well, there it is, picking off 3 of those Corruptors. Blink used very well, and that's going to be able to save MC's 3 Colossi. He actually has 3 weapons about to finish now. That's going to give him a huge advantage in this battle. So there's the Corruptors, don't know what they're doing, trying to pick off Colossi from the back. Pretty intelligent strategy there. MC force fielding as if it is the apocalypse, and he has to hold off those Zerg. Corruptors moving in now and sniping one of his Colossi, trying to get a second, and it will probably pick off the 3rd, but enough damage has been done. This one has 19 kills, definitely justifying its cost. So the Corruptors have done their job, but I don't think quite enough to save this battle because MC just coming in with all these reinforcement Stalkers. So I think he's going to be able to pull this one off. Very nice concave there with the Stalkers, allowing all 4 of his Immortals to fire from the back. Sentries there for force fields if needed. And now Stephano going to definitely have to GG out of this one. He's at half the population of MC and quickly falling. And there we go. Stephano throws down the well played, good luck, very courteous of him, so MC did move on to the finals of this event. And since I'm not going to be casting any more of this LANs matches because I've seen a lot of other casters do the finals, MC was able to defeat Bomber in a best of 7 series. I do believe it was something like 4-1 or 4-2. So he did win this whole LAN and it played extremely well against Stephano. This was my personal favorite series. I hope it was yours as well. I'll be bringing you guys some MLG Spring Championship games next, and This is Austin signing off. Hope you enjoyed.